hopefully, maybe mysteriously, it's Wednesday, the 19th of February. Welcome back to the second part of Chapter 1, Kensky's Kingdom. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why has Mr. Branton always got on a Dodgers top from Los Angeles? But you shouldn't be thinking this. You should be thinking, what's it like to be on a yacht with a family, my family, sailing off into sea in year 4? What does that feel like? What could it feel like? What dangers? What might happen? This is really what you should be thinking about. And so we can continue. We've looked at page 1, page 2, and page 3. And now we can listen to, sit back and relax, reading as we go, page 4, 5, and 6. Now, you'll have to forgive me because not only is my eyesight very bad, but it's also past 11 o'clock at night. I have to wait till my daughter is fully asleep. Let's go. My mother frowned. Is this where we should start? I think we should have different people reading it. Here we go. My mother frowned at me in puzzlement. I wasn't any the wiser either. All I knew for certain was that he was being deliberately mysterious. So let's recap just a second from page 3. They just arrived at Southampton Dock. There's no houses. It's just a harbour with a luxury yacht. And hopefully now we've looked up the definitions of various words, including the word yacht. And his mother gets there and she's puzzled. She's like, what's going on? And I wasn't any the wiser. All I knew for certain was that he was being deliberately mysterious. He, obviously here, being Michael's father. We struggled on with our suitcases, like I do through an airport. The gulls crying overhead, the yacht mast clapping around us, and Stella yapping at all of it, as dogs do, until at last he stopped right by a gangplank. That's another word we may need to look up. That led up the gleaming dark blue yacht. He put the cases down and he turned to face us. He was grinning from ear to ear. Here she is, he said. Let me introduce you. This is Peggy Sue, our new home. Well? Considering everything, my mother took it pretty well. She didn't shout at him. She just went very quiet, and she stayed quiet all through his explanation down in the galley over a nice cup of tea. It wasn't a spur of the moment thing, you know. I've been thinking about it for a long time. All those years working in that factory. All right, maybe I was just dreaming about it in those days. Funny, when you think about it, if I hadn't lost my job, I'd never dared to do it. Not in a million years. He knew he wasn't making much sense. All right then, here's what I thought. What is it that we all love doing the most? It's sailing, right? Wouldn't it be wonderful, I thought, if we could just take off and sail around the world? There's people who've done it. Blue water sailing, they call it. I've read all about it in those magazines. Like I said, it was just a dream to start with. And then no job and no chance of a job. What does the man say? Get on your bike. So why not a boat? We've got our redundancy money. What little of it there was of it. There's a bit saved up. And the car money, not a fortune, but enough. What to do with it? I could put it all in the bank, like the others did. But what for? Just to watch it dribble away till there's nothing left? Or, I thought, I could do something really special with it. A once-in-a-lifetime thing. We could sail around the world. Africa, South Africa, Australia, the Pacific. We could see places we've only ever dreamed of. Pause. Finding it difficult to read because the words are quite close together on the screen and my eyes are hurting. So we should always remember to leave new lines, leave a space when we write, and start a new paragraph. Makes it much more easier for somebody with old eyes like me to read. Unpause. We sat there, completely dumbstruck. Oh, I know what you're thinking, he went on. Thinking, you're thinking all we've ever done is reservoir sailing, dinghy sailing. You're thinking, he's gone crazy, loopy in Ed. You're thinking, it's dangerous. You're thinking, we'll be flat broke. But I thought it all out. I even thought of your gran. There's a thing, we won't be gone forever, will we? She'll be here when we get back, won't she? She's perfectly healthy. We've got the money. I've done me sums. We've got to do 6 months training. We'll do away. We'll be away in a year, 18 months maybe, just so long as the money lasts. We're going to do it safe, do it properly. Mum, you'll be the yacht's master certificate. Oh, didn't I say? I didn't, did I? You'll be the skipper. Mum, I'll be first mate and handyman. And Michael, you'll be ship's boy. And Stella, well, Stella, she can be ship's cat. He was full of it, breathless with excitement. We'll train ourselves up, do a few trips across the channel to France, maybe over to Ireland. We'll get to know this boat like she was one of us. She's a 42-foot bowman. Make best design, safest there is. I've done my own work. 6 months' time, and we'll be off round the world. It'll be adventure of lifetime. Our one chance. You'll never get another one. What do you think then? Excellent, I breathed, and that was exactly what I actually thought. I'll be the skipper, you say? Asked Mother. Aye, aye, Captain, my father laughed and gave her a mock salute. What about Michael's school? She went on. I thought that too. I asked local school down here. It's all arranged. We'll take out boys books he'll need. I'll teach him. You'll teach him. He'll teach himself. I'll tell you something for nothing. He'll learn more in a couple of years at sea than he will ever learn in that monkey school of his. I promise. She took a sip of her tea. And then nodded slowly. All right, she said, and I saw she was smiling. Why not? Go ahead then. Buy her. Buy the boat. Ha! I already have, said my father. Of course, it was madness. They knew it. Even I knew it. But it simply didn't matter. Thinking back, it must have been a kind of inspirational driven by desperation. Everyone warned us against it. Gran came, visited and stayed on board. It was all quiet, ridiculous. She said, reckless, irresponsible. I don't think she speaks like that. She was full of doom and gloom. Icebergs. This comes into your work. Icebergs. Hurricanes. Pirates. Whales. Supertankers. Freak waves. I want to say that again because this is part of your work tomorrow or on Friday, sorry. Icebergs. Hurricanes, pirates, whales, supertankers, freak waves. She heaped up horror upon horror, thinking to frighten me, and so frighten off my mother and father. She succeeded in terrifying me all right, but I never showed it. What she didn't understand was that we three were already bound together now by a common lunacy. Another word to define. We were going, and nothing and no one could stop us. We were doing what people do in fairy tales. We were going off to seek adventure. To begin with, it all happened much as my father had planned it, except that the training took a lot longer. We soon learned that handling a 42-foot yacht was not just dinghy sailing in a bigger boat. We were tutored by a whiskered old mariner from the yacht club. Bill Parker. Barnacle Bill, we called him, but not to his face, of course. He had been twice around Cape Horn. Where's Cape Horn? Twice around Cape Horn and done 2 single-handed Atlantic crossings. And he'd been across the channel more times than you've had hot dinners, my lad. Or should we say that in an accent like a parrot? I've been out more times. He's gone from Somerset. More times than you've had hot dinners, my lad. To tell the truth, we none of us liked him much. He was a hard taskman. He treated me and Stella with equal disdain. Disdain? Interesting word. To him, all animals and children were just a nuisance, and on board ship, nothing but a liability. So I kept out of the way as much as I could, and so did Stella Artois. To be fair to him, Barnacle Bill did know his business. By the time he had finished with us, and my mother was given her certificate, we felt we could sail the Pegasus anywhere. We had I can't say that word out there. I can't even see it. We have inculcated, I can't see it, in us a healthy respect for the sea, but at the same time, we were confident we could handle just about anything the sea could hurl at us. Mind you, there were times I was scared rigid. My father and I shared our terrors together, silently. You couldn't pretend I learned with a towering green wall of sea 20 feet high bearing down on you. We went down in troughs so deep we never thought we could possibly climb up again. But we did. And the more we rode our terror, rode the waves, the more we felt sure of ourselves and of the boat around us. My mother, though, never showed even the faintest tremor of fear. Fearless mum. It was her and the Peggy Sue between them that saw us through our worst moments. She was seasick from time to time, and we never were. So that was something. We lived close, all of us, checked by Joel, and I soon discovered parents were more than just parents. My father became my friend, my shipmate. We came to rely on each other. And as for my mother, the truth is, and I admitted, that I didn't know she had it in her. I always knew she was gritty, that she's always keen on a thing until she's done it. But she worked nights and days over her books and charts until she had mastered everything. She never stopped. True, she could be a bit of a tyrant if we didn't keep the boat shipshape, but neither my father nor I minded that much, though we pretended to. She was the skipper. She was going to take us round the world and back again. We had absolute confidence in her. We were proud of her. She was brilliant. And I have to say, the ship's boy and the first mate were pretty brilliant too, in the winches, at the helm, and dab hands with the baked beans in the galley. We were a great team. So, on September 10th, 1987, I know the date because I have the ship's log in front of me as I write. With every nook and cranny loaded with stores and provisions, we were at last ready to set sail on our grand adventure, our great odyssey. Gran was there to wave us off, tearful. In the end, she even wanted to come with us to visit Australia. She'd always wanted to see koalas in the wild. There was lots of our friends there too, including Barnacle Bill. Eddie Dodds came along with his father. He threw me a football as we cast off. "Lucky mascot," he shouted. When I looked down at it later, I saw he'd signed his name all over it like a World Cup star. Awesome. Stella Artois barked her farewells at them, and at every boat we passed in the Solent. But As we were sailing out past the Isle of Wight, she felt strangely quiet. Maybe she sensed, as we did, that there was no turning back now. This was not a dream. We were off around the world. It was real, really real. Pause. Thank you for tolerating my reading as I once again lose my eyesight. And now it's your turn. Now it's your task. What can we discover? What did we learn from these 3 pages? What new words can we write down on our definition sheet and incorporate them and use them in sentences? Let's find out. Also, it's now your turn to consider some comprehension questions, to answer some comprehension questions, to become familiar with understanding the text. Use full sentences to answer each question. So going back to page 1, 2, and 3, you should hopefully have a copy of the Word document. What was the name of Michael's school? Don't just write the name, write it. Use the question to make an answer for you, i.e., the name of Michael's school was. Why did his father call Michael's school the monkey school? Find evidence in the text. From these first 3 pages, what can we infer is Michael's favourite thing to do? Do you think Michael was saddened with the news of hearing Eddie had moved away? Why? Use some lines in the text to explain your answer. Again, my advice, use the question to make your answer. And lastly, what changes at the end of page 3 that lightens the mood? I.e., everyone seems happy again. Why? Maybe you can use some of the pages 4, 5, and 6 to answer that question too. Anyway, that's me, about 11:30 at night. I hope you enjoyed that text. Please listen to it again or read it with friends, families, and or bunny rabbits. Okay, that's it. Bye for now, and I think on Friday we'll be looking at some inferences, what else we can infer, and writing our own passage of what could happen. What could happen to Michael? We did have a sentence, was it on page 5? Was it on page 6? Of what the Gran thought what might happen. Perhaps you could use that. Bye for now. Join us today for all your online needs at eTeacher.